This Hurricane team has some flair, too.
Next on ACC Live Breakdown, Miami's the 1 seed, Duke 2, Carolina 3, UVA 4. So who is the favorite in Greensboro? It all starts with a feast of hoops on Thursday. 4 games going all day. Former Tar Heel JR Reid and I break down every matchup. It was down to 2. Mustafa Farrakhan versus Ismail Muhammad. We now have our Dunkuary champ, voted by you, the greatest dunk in ACC history. ACC Live Breakdown starts now. Last night, great finish between Maryland and UVA. Cavs came back from 17 down to force overtime, leading by 3. Maryland the chance to tie. Des Wells, no. UVA wins 61-58. The Cavs will be the 4 seed in the ACC tournament, and they may have saved their NCAA hopes. Welcome to a special ACC Live Breakdown. I'm Jeff Fischel with North Carolina and NBA great JR Reid. We are talking about the ACC tournament. The Cavs are a team college hoops fans everywhere are talking about right now. Are they in? Are they on the bubble? JR, what do you think?
Well, they're definitely on the bubble, Jeff, but I think they need to have a good showing in the tournament, and I say they've got to at least have to get to the finals to get to the big dance.
Wow, that would take a couple wins. I will talk to Coach Tony Bennett in just a few minutes, and I'll ask him what he thinks about their chances of getting into the big draw. Plus, JR and I go through the entire ACC men's bracket, and he will tell you who will be cutting down the nets in Greensboro on Sunday. But first, it is time to reveal your Dunkuary champ. Who has the greatest dunk in ACC history? We got tens of thousands of votes. Here's the final. Ismail Muhammad, the 5 seed, against the 15 seed, Mustafa Farrakhan. 2 men, 2 dunks. First, let's take a look at dunk number 1, our final, right here. Mustafa Farrakhan in the open floor, JR.
Oh, no. Get down. Oh, I love it. I love it. Get in his chest, little fella. Get up high and come down.
Look at the little guys going up at the rim against each other.
They
like
always look better than big guys when the little fellas take off.
Now, both these dunks against NC State. No. Ismail Muhammad.
No, this is the one. Oh, he sat on him with his dun-dun-duns, man. He sat on his shoulder. That is just vicious. That is a classic.
Ishmael Muhammad came into this one as the favorite, as the 5 seed, Mustafa Farrakhan, the 15 seed. But now it is time to reveal the champ. The greatest dunk in ACC history, as voted on by you, the fans, is Mustafa Farrakhan, our Cinderella story. UVA 2010. JR, it's a shocker.
Wow, he rode this all the way out. Upset some big-time dunkers.
That's
and
right.
dunks
Dante Jones doing push-ups, then a legend, Len Bias, then an even bigger legend, Michael Jordan in the semis, and now Ismail Muhammad's incredible dunk over Engin Atzer falls to Mustafa Farrakhan, and look how close it was. 51.5% to 48.5%. I mean, just 3 percentage points separating these 2 dunks in our Dunkuary final. We want to thank all the ACC fans who voted. Clearly, the Mustafa Farrakhan fans got into it the most. They were going on our website again and again, voting for Mustafa Farrakhan. Clearly, that made the difference. But again, we hope you had fun with Dunkuary. Whichever school you cheer for, we hope you enjoyed checking out all the dunks. We're always trying to make you a part of the show. We want you involved. We hope you had fun jumping into the Wayback Machine and remembering some of the great dunks in ACC history. Now let's turn to the present. The Miami Hurricanes, they've won their first ACC regular season title in school history. They will be the top seed at the ACC tournament in Greensboro. Jim Larinaga built a great team. The super quick Shane Larkin at the point. 2 great wings, Trey McKinney-Jones and Durant Scott, and the deepest front court in the country, Kenny Kaji, Reggie Johnson, and Julian Gamble. Here is the Greensboro bracket. Miami plays the winner of the 8-9 game, Boston College and Georgia Tech. Virginia earned that bye with the win last night. The Cavs get the 5-12 winner, North Carolina State and Virginia Tech. The other half of the bracket, the Maryland Wake Forest winner will face the number 2 seed, the Duke Blue Devils. And North Carolina gets the 3rd seed. The Tar Heels meet Florida State or Clemson. All right, JR, let's go through that entire bracket and start with that 8-9 game, Georgia Tech and Boston College. It's that first game Thursday. This is how it starts, right at noon on Thursday at the Greensboro Coliseum. These are 2 of the up-and-coming teams in the conference. Steve Donahue's Eagles, they have an all-freshman backcourt, and boy, I got to tell you, these guys have looked good. They could be one of the best for the years to come.
Absolutely. He has done a fabulous job. He's gotten this team from all over. guys from California, players from Germany,
Canada.
the Northeast, Canada. He has covered the globe, but they do a fabulous job of playing together. And right here, you get a chance to see Joe Rahan, who's done a fabulous job for them. Good off the pick and rolls, able to get all the way to the basket. Here against Georgia Tech, they're trying to deny the screen, but they don't do a good job of sealing, stopping the penetration here. Because of the spacing that they have, he's able to continuously get to the basket. And here, right here, we get a chance to see Olivier Hanlon work his magic, a big physical guard, gets to the hole. And I'll tell you what, Jeff, if Georgia Tech doesn't play better defense than they did here last week, man, this is going to be a quick tournament for them. But more of the same here. High pick and roll, giving trouble, spacing, create matchup problems. And again, the Boston College guards the ability to get to the rim and create shots for themselves. And this is a team that nobody wants to face. You know, all the big teams, the teams that have beaten big teams coming to play them have not fared so well.
It has not gone well. So Rahan and Hanlon give teams trouble, no doubt, with that backcourt. Georgia Tech has its own freshman duo, Marcus Georges-Hunt and Robert Carter Jr. They've been solid all year as well.
Oh, definitely. I love Robert Carter Jr. He's a big man with soft hands, can step out, hit the jump shot, and he's a space eater. You know I like that.
Okay, the winner gets the top seed, Miami, on Friday. Now, North Carolina State could not have been expecting to be playing in a Thursday game. When the season started, they were the ACC preseason favorites. But now they play on Thursday. Mark Gottfried's team, will they be frustrated, disappointed at all that they're playing in that Thursday game against Virginia Tech?
I'm sure they're a little frustrated, Jeff, but they've got to overlook this. Everyone, as you mentioned, they were the preseason pick. Everyone picked them to be successful in the ACC regular season. It hasn't gone according to schedule, but it's about them. They need to get on board here, get C.J. Leslie going in the right direction for them to have an opportunity to win.
They take on Virginia Tech. Last in the ACC, but the Hokies have the leading scorer in the country. It all runs through Eric Green.
Oh, yes, and this is a coach's nightmare. This young man, Eric Green, gets it done, and I like it, and I'm loving the things that he's done and all the accolades, leading the nation in scoring because he has put in the work. Wasn't a gifted scorer when he got to Virginia Tech, but has worked and conditioned and made himself an elite player and a player I think you'll see in the NBA. Coaches in the ACC tournament do not want to gear and coaching prepare for this young man.
You were saying he took thousands and thousands of jumpers, right, during the summer to
Over
get ready for the
10,000
season?
shots or something I read like that. And the coaches challenged him. He lived up to it, and he shot the ball so well. And you can show he's lighting guys up.
And he's not just firing away. I mean, in yesterday's game, he scored 35 points on just 18 field goal attempts. He's incredibly efficient,
Yes.
incredibly smart player, and certainly deserving some votes for ACC Player of the Year. The 7-10 matchup is Maryland and Wake Forest. Now, JR, the Terps may have been one of the most baffling, confusing, frustrating teams in the country.
Man, he gave me high blood pressure just talking about him here this season. But they've had problems, and all their problems stem from the point guard. Seth Allen got his opportunity. Now Pishon Howard is really on board. He's getting an opportunity to start. Maybe this will help them get a win.
Now, whoever's at the point has to find a way to get Alex Lynn the basketball.
Well, and that's been the issue for them. You know, Alex Lynn is a tremendous player. Long, athletic, high skill set. Being a European player, came over here already highly developed. But they have not been able to get him the ball consistently. And for Maryland to win, they have to get a healthy dose of him inside. Not 8 to 10 feet, but they need to get him the ball in the 3 to 5 foot range.
And I think we've seen too much recently that he's getting the ball perhaps on offensive rebounds, putbacks, but they're not running the offense through him.
And I see the frustration in him because, see, now when he gets the ball at the free throw line area, the mid post, first thing he's looking to do, Jeff, is turn and score. Even though that's not his spots, he realizes he's not getting a lot of touches, and I think he's forcing a little bit.
It could be a tough matchup for Wake Forest, no doubt, and the winner of that one faces Duke on Friday. The last Thursday game may be giving Clemson fans nightmares. This is hardly consolation, Tigers fans, but you're not alone. Michael Snare has left behind a long trail of woe with his game winners. This one was back in January.
Snare in control. 2 seconds. 1 second. At the buzzer for the win. Wow, Michael Snare does it.
That's what a big-time player does. He sheds a bad game and comes up big.
So in all, he has had 6 game winners against 6 different ACC schools in the past 2 years. We know Snare, who is a senior, JR, he wants to end his college career with a strong ACC tournament.
And I believe he will. He's going to give a good effort. What we do know about Michael Snare is that he's a tremendous defensive player. But what he's really done for this team is keep them close. This could have been perceived as a little down year from Florida State after the tremendous season they had last year, but he stayed focused and he's kept them in the hunt. Any game that you have an opportunity to win, when you have him on the court, with him hitting the big shots and solidifying his legendary status here in the ACC, is one of the most clutch performers we've seen in a while.
Of course, Florida State Seminoles are the defending ACC tournament champs. That is the 6-11 game winner Thursday night. That's the last game Thursday. Then they take on North Carolina on Friday. Now let's see what the game simulator from SCACCHoops.com says about the first round. Our friend John Pence, the creator and editor of the website, gave us the picks from the game sim about those Thursday games. Boston College, North Carolina State, Maryland, Florida State. So the game sim likes all the favorites in these, JR.
Well, it looks good. I'm going to see if it's any good or not. We'll find out.
So, by the way, John Pence does send us along that he is running brackets now for ACC fans. So go to SCACCHoops.com, make your picks for the ACC tournament, see how they stack up against other fans from around the conference. All right, let's take a look ahead to Friday's quarterfinals. It won't be easy for Miami. The Canes lost to Georgia Tech and pulled out a last-second win against Boston College. UVA either faces the preseason ACC favorite or has a tough emotional rivalry game with the Hokies. The other half, Maryland's beaten Duke, and Wake played them tough as well in Winston-Salem. Of course, both of those games were when Ryan Kelly was out of the lineup. Duke, before Carolina lost to Duke, the Tar Heels had won 6 in a row, including wins over Clemson and Florida State. So that is the bracket. Let's talk to Virginia head coach Tony Bennett. Tony, your team is 21-10 after that comeback win in overtime last night against Maryland. You were down 17 points early. What did you tell the team?
Well, we thought we really had to change our ways in the second half and become more of an inside-outside team. We were very cold from the perimeter. Again, I don't know if our guys were nervous or fatigued, but we did not start the way we have been starting at home. We've been playing well at home and certainly played against a talented team. Maryland played good basketball to start the game, and they really got us on our heels. But I love the way our guys responded, and they didn't panic. You know, you always say, hey, it's a possession at a time. You can't get it back right away. And they kept digging in and got some good stops. And, you know, Maryland had some unfortunate things happen, but that's how it goes.
So with the win, you get the 4 seed in the ACC tournament. You avoid a Thursday game. Do you feel good about where the team is heading into the ACC tournament?
Yeah, you know, we've had some injuries early in the year, and then our freshman was out for a couple weeks with mono, and Darian Atkins was out with a stress reaction. And both of those two players gave us a nice lift. Mike Tobey specifically had a real good game, and then Darian Atkins for the first time in a number of weeks gave us some decent minutes. So to be healthier and, to finish, you know, this is such a competitive conference, and there's not a lot that separates, you know, the 4 seed from the 12 seed from the – but, you know, the fact that we did get the 4 seed and we'll have a chance to, you know, obviously play on and you know, we're going to play against whoever it is, a good game. We're excited about it.
Every team thinks about playing all the way to Sunday. It's very tough to play 3 games in 3 days. The idea that you would have had to play 4 games in 4 days would have even been that much tougher, right?
The team that plays the day before might have a little advantage in that first game just because they have the rust off or the nerves. But if there's a chance to win an ACC championship, that 3 versus 4 in terms of games and amount of days can definitely play a role in that. And again, with college basketball the way it is, with our conference the way it is, it's shown that everybody is capable.
Now, I have to tell you, you're busy coaching your team, but I get my time following basketball writers and talking heads. Everyone is talking about UVA right now, whether they're an at-large team. You guys have such a fascinating resume, what you've been through this season. Make your case right now for the Cavs to be an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament.
I think that's for the selection committee, but I will tell you something that's kind of funny. I was doing a radio interview a couple weeks back, and the gentleman said that we're the Dos Equis bubble team, the most interesting bubble team in the world. So I thought that was a good statement. You know, one of the things again, they'll have all the information. The one thing I think that hopefully stands out is our quality wins, and we didn't have our starting point guard, our only senior. We're a very young team. For those 3 losses, and that hurt us because we we were supposed to, had we played well, we could have had a chance to get into the preseason NIT and play against the Michigans, Kansas State, Pittsburgh, and again, we didn't. But again, we've improved as the season's gone on, and my hope is that we'll keep playing well. But you just have to trust certainly the selection committee. They'll have all the information, and we've got to try to keep playing well.
So really, you're not gonna say yes, we deserve to be in? Come on, here's your chance.
I'm a man of faith, so I'll just trust. And like I said, I like what our team's done. I hope we'll have that chance. I let my assistants, honest to goodness, I let them really look at all the numbers and crunch it and compare us and that. And that's for them. And hopefully we'll be in a good spot. But I do think they did say something yesterday. I think that was our 9th top 100 win, and I know that's positive. But again, just depends what the selection committee decides to look at. And I want to wait patiently and hopefully play well in the ACC tournament.
All right, Tony Bennett, the head coach for the Virginia Cavaliers. Thanks, and good luck in Greensboro.
Thanks a lot.
JR, you know Tony. You played together, right?
Yes, I do. Got an opportunity to play with him with the Hornets. A fabulous, fabulous player, great coach, and everyone knows how humble he is. He's not going to toot his own horn. He's going to leave it up to the selection committee, and hopefully they'll get it done.
Oh, I love that. Dos Equis bubble team. The most fascinating of all bubble teams. It's absolutely true. The Cavs are the 4 seed going into Greensboro. What will it take for them to make a run?
Well, I think, Jeff, they're going to have to slow the game down. They're going to have a game in the tempo and the pace that's good for their offense. They don't want to have it a high possession game at all. They want to be able to slow it down and get the ball into the hands of their shooters. And Jontel Evans is going to be key to them to doing this.
Tony Bennett mentioned him and talked about how he was gone early in the year. Now he's back and really controls the show.
Oh, yes. This is an all-defensive player right here. Leads this team, knows how to get the ball into the key shooters' hands. And Joe Harris loves him. I've always made friends with the point guard. And Joe Harris, he's been feeding him all season long and all career long. And for UVA, as I mentioned, to have a chance to get into the big dance, they have to come out, establish tempo, and get early leads, because this is a team that struggles to play from behind.
You said that you think they need perhaps 2 wins in Greensboro. Joe Lunardi, the ESPN bracketologist, says they are the last team in right now,
Yeah.
so they cannot afford a loss on Friday against whether it's North Carolina State or Virginia Tech. Coming up, Virginia may be the 4 seed behind Miami, Duke, and Carolina, but who is the favorite at the ACC tournament after the break? What each team must do to win.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut-crusted shrimp to our mango salsa-topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef-inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Good afternoon, Chase Sapphire. This is Stacy from Springfield.
Oh,
Hello?
yes, I didn't realize you'd be talking to an actual person.
You don't need to press 0. I'm here.
Reach a person, not a prompt, whenever you call Chase Sapphire.
A year ago, the 2012 ACC title game, Florida State and North Carolina. The 3rd seed, the Noles, they took down the top-seeded North Carolina Tar Heels 85-82. Carolina had 4 players who'd be taken in the first round of the NBA draft just a few months later, but the Noles had Michael Snare. He led Florida State with 18 points. It was the first ACC title in school history. Over the past few years, we've seen the top seed only win the ACC tournament half the time, and it hasn't happened since 2010. That year, Duke went on to win the national title. You can also see how Carolina and Duke have dominated. This year, they would meet in the semis. Florida State ended a 7-year run by Carolina and Duke. Maryland won the ACC title in 2004. Welcome back to a special ACC Live Breakdown. We are breaking down the men's ACC tournament. He's JR Reid. I'm Jeff Fischel. JR, we talked about Tony Bennett and the Cavs. Let's look at what the other top 3 seeds need to do to win the title in Greensboro. We start with the number 1 seed, Miami Hurricanes. What does Jim Larinaga's team need to do? Not only to have a regular season title, but also to take the conference title as well.
Well, I think they just need to get back to the winning ways. They've struggled of late. The last 5 games, I think they've had, or 6 games, had 3 losses. So for them, they need to get back. And how do you get back? You get back defensively. And I think this is where Shane Larkin and Durant Scott can really be key factors here for this team to get them back in the winning ways. Durant Scott, over the years, have been a bigger part of the offense, but this year it seems like he let Shane Larkin and Kenny Kaji and those guys have a bigger role. And he took the role of the defensive stopper, one of the best defensive guards in the league. But like I mentioned, for them to get back when things aren't going well, when you're falling off the mountaintop a little bit, you've got to go back to the fundamentals, and that's defense, and that's what's gotten them winning games.
So that's the 1 seed, Miami. The 2 seed is Duke. JR, what gets the Duke Blue Devils 3 wins and an ACC title?
Wow, I think just a steady diet of Ryan Kelly, of Seth Curry, and their veteran leadership. Now, I like to look at Duke in a couple of different stages. You look at them early in the year when they had Ryan Kelly. Then you look at the team now when he's come back from his injury. Look at his spacing right here. He wants to go and double on Plumlee, but he can't because Ryan Kelly is on the court spacing. And that's the big thing for Kelly. He doesn't have to be shooting the ball. Here, he's able to, Mason Plumlee's able to get his work done inside, and the bigs can't really come and double fully like they would want to, and he's able to get his own offensive rebound. And this is what Duke allows Duke to do with their offense. Great spacing, pick and roll again with Kelly. Kelly's not even in the play, doesn't touch it, but look at P.J. Hairston. He's in the paint. He has to be. They can't go all the way to double, and this allows the bigs and all the other players they have on the court to get going.
Look how important Ryan Kelly is. The numbers do not lie. With him, they're 18-0. Without him, 9-4. And you might think the big, huge difference is on offense, and there's no doubt he helps on offense. But the reason we can talk about Duke as a national title contender is because of what Kelly does on defense. 10-point game per difference with points allowed.
Yeah, everyone wants to talk about shooting. Yes, they shoot the 3-ball well, but it's defense. Coach K pushes defense, and this is what wins them games. And with him on the court, they feel more comfortable. He's drawing charges. He's good on the press offense. He's an outlet. He does so many things for them offensively.
Duke, the 2 seed going in, but perhaps might be the favorite really in Greensboro. The 3 seed is Carolina. Small ball worked until the Tar Heels met up with the Blue Devils Saturday night. Can small ball get Roy Williams 3 wins in 3 days?
Yeah, well, I think they'll have to do a lot of work. I know small ball's worked for them up until lately, but they've got to find a way to defend the interior. When they're playing small, when James Michael McAdoo is the center, they've got to get him help. Look right here how Mason Plumlee is just beasting him inside. They've got to get him help. But when you think about teams that you're going to match up and play against, it's going to be hard to get them help in there because they have to match up with those shooters. But Carolina has to come out with effort and energy and try to do something on the board in order for them to have a chance to win this title.
So now we've looked at the top 4 seeds in the ACC men's tournament this weekend coming up in Greensboro starting on Thursday. It's time now for other stories from across the conference. It's time for the ACC Now. The Duke women are your ACC tourney champs. An impressive performance beating Carolina in the title game 92-73. The star was freshman point guard Alexis Jones. I sat there on press row. She was incredible. She plays without a script as well as any women's player you'll see. Jones chosen the tournament MVP. Also, the front court duo, Haley Peters, Elizabeth Williams, combined to score 41 points. The win gave Duke 30 wins for the season. The NCAA women's bracket comes out a week from today. There are 3 ACC men among the finalists for the Wooden Award. Duke big man Mason Plumlee averaging double-double this season. Miami's Shane Larkin averaging 14 points, 4.5 assists, 2 steals, top 5 in conference in assist-to-turnover ratio. And there's Eric Green, of course, the nation's leading scorer. That is the ACC Now. And one more point to make, just coming out this morning, Shane Larkin is one of the 5 finalists for the Bob Cousy Award, going to the nation's best point guard. He has certainly earned it with the kind of season he's had. In fact, we've been talking about him as a possible ACC Player of the Year candidate. All right, it's a great list, by the way. I didn't mention the other guys. Marcus Smart's on the list, St. Mary's international star. Have you seen this guy, Matthew Dellavedova? Fantastic.
Oh, yes.
Syracuse's Michael Carter-Williams and Trey Burke from Michigan. Just ahead, we've talked about the top 4 seeds in Greensboro, but is there a dark horse? Which team could surprise us by making a run? JR tells us next on ACC Live Breakdown.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, it's on my list. Gotcha. All over it. Sorry, you cut out there. Good point, Bob. Couldn't agree more. Right. It's on my radar.
For all your tournament hoops, it's the ACC Digital Network.
I'm Kelly Nash with another ACC Now and Then brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Virginia Tech's Eric Green is bidding to become the first ACC player since 1957 to lead the nation in scoring. Another ACC guard who could really fill it up was Georgia Tech's Dennis Scott. In 1990, Scott scored an ACC record 970 points on his way to becoming the ACC Player of the Year.
Start the new year with savings. Visit RubyTuesday.com to get $5 off 2 entrees.
La 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 la. For all your tournament hoops, it's the ACC Digital Network.
This dunk of the day brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
The sophomore leads the break and finishes with a huge throwdown. Des Wells dunks it down to even us again. Coast to coast for Des Wells.
Somebody please send that to me on Twitter. Please send me a picture of that.
Start the new year with savings. Visit RubyTuesday.com to get $5 off 2 entrees.
Welcome back to a special ACC Live Breakdown. We're looking at the men's bracket for the 2013 ACC Tournament. He's JR Reid. I'm Jeff Fischel. Let's take a look at that bracket. Show it to him, JB. JR, here it comes, the first round. Thursday, Boston College versus Georgia Tech and North Carolina State versus Virginia Tech. Those 2 games move on to the Friday, where they have to face the first and the 4th seed, that top half of the bracket. Miami is the 1 seed overall after winning the regular season title. Virginia, the 4 seed. Then the bottom half, Maryland, Wake Forest, the 7-10 game. The winner there faces Duke on Friday. And then it's Florida State and Clemson in the 6-11 game against North Carolina on Friday. Semifinal Saturday. And on Sunday, we crown a champion just before the NCAA announces its brackets for the 2013 NCAA tournament. So, JR, is there one player who could make a difference in Greensboro?
I think so. And my player, Jeff, is Seth Curry. I just think he's shooting the ball very well right now. He's red hot coming off of that game against Carolina, and I'm looking for him to come in firing it up.
Curry's really been incredible because even when Ryan Kelly wasn't in the lineup, Curry was still finding ways to get his shots.
And people forget, Jeff, that he was playing with an injury as well. He's playing with a leg injury, couldn't practice, gutsy effort coming out there, giving them big games as well as being injured.
That's right. He's only been able to practice, I think, 1 day a week all throughout the season. So
tough for him, man. You hate that, don't you? Can only practice once a week.
Still filling it up. He has an excuse to just go 1 day a week. All right, what about a team that could shock everyone and make a run?
Well, Jeff, we've been watching these guys, Boston College. Do not sleep on this team. Coach Donahue has them playing very well, and they match up well with a lot of teams in the conference, beating a lot of teams after big victories.
We've talked about the backcourt, and Ryan Anderson's a phenomenal player up front for BC.
Oh, Ryan Anderson's going to give it to you from a lot of different places on the court. He can score off the dribbles, tremendous post-up guy, and he's averaging 8 rebounds a game.
All right, so whether or not Steve Donahue's team makes a run, who is your pick to win the ACC tournament?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the hot hand right here and the hot team, and that would be Duke. Duke has seemed to got everything going in the right direction. Ryan Kelly's coming back, acclimating himself with his team, getting in shape. They're shooting, and the rebounding. The big thing for Duke to be successful is they have to rebound the ball. They struggled with this with Ryan Kelly early in the year. Let's see if they've managed to get that problem solved.
And we could see a third matchup between Carolina and Duke in the semis. Obviously in Greensboro, the crowd would be enormous for that, and they'd be fired up to see that as well.
They would, and we all know it's tough to beat a team 3 times. I know Carolina, Roy Williams are hoping to get there, but first things first for both of these teams. Take care of business and see what happens.
Now, we talked about as soon as the tournament ends, the focus immediately turns to the NCAA tournament. There's been a lot of talk about these bubble teams. How many ACC teams get in?
Wow, I'm in the beginning of the season. I think we mentioned maybe 6, but I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 now. And I think UVA is on there. Maryland, I'm not as sure about their possibilities to get in, but UVA definitely has a chance. They have to have a good showing here.
All right, guys, are we going to take one last look? We announced our Dunkuary champ. Are we going to take a look at Mustafa Farrakhan one more time? Maybe yes, no, maybe so. I'm hearing it from the booth. Okay. Well, there it is. Mustafa Farrakhan one more time. One more dunk for the day. Mustafa Farrakhan, our champ in Dunkuary. You voted for him. The 15 seed knocks off everybody to win the title. Best dunk in ACC history. Thanks for playing along with Booth, JB, and Kaz. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching ACC Live. Keep watching the ACC Digital Network for the best coverage before, during, and after the ACC tournament. JR, Drew Barry, myself, the ACCNDN crew, will all be headed up to Greensboro over the next couple days. We will give you a preview of every game and break down each one after it's over. Tweet us with your thoughts and questions about the tournament. He's at JR Reid 7. I'm at Jeff Michelle. And of course, follow the ACCDN on Twitter for highlights, must-see moments, and analysis. It's the best ACC hoops coverage in the country. It's the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Thanks for watching.